When I was burnt out, I felt invisible to females. I was single, constantly working, using alcohol and other coping mechanisms to deal with the stress. I really struggled to connect. And honestly, I really didn't know who I was anymore. How did I know what I wanted in a partner if I didn't even know what I wanted in myself? But when I decided to fix my burnout, when I started using positive coping strategies, shifting to heal my sleep, eat nutritious food, incorporate movement daily into my life, that shift led me to not only being healed, but having a beautiful, loving fiance. I found direction and found motivation, but most importantly, I found what was important to me. This video isn't dating advice, it's about energy and how fixing your burnout doesn't only help you physically and mentally, but it improves your energy and makes you more magnetic. I'll show you exactly what changed for me and how it can change for you too. But first, if you're feeling stressed, burnt out and stuck, I do offer private one-on-one sessions. I only work with a handful of people each month. They're people who are committed to change, improving their life, reducing burnout, and resetting their nervous system. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, click the first link below or reach out to me directly. If I can get myself out of being burnt out, single and stuck, so can you. When I was younger, it felt like I really struggled to connect with people romantically. Felt like I was trying, nothing was landing, the connection felt off. Dates fizzled out, conversations ended, and I was feeling quite drained. It almost felt like I was doing things because I was meant to be, compared to be doing things because I wanted to. It felt like I was wearing a mask. I remember when I was 18, I bought a record player and records because the girl I fancied loved records, but it just didn't feel right. After finishing my psych degree at university, working my corporate job in London, I just felt even more burnt out. My nervous system was fried. I didn't really even like who I was. And if anybody did like me, they'd like a completely different version, a made-up version. My family would say that I was picky. And deep down, I knew it wasn't about the people I was seeing. It was about me. I was anxious, distracted, living on edge. I wasn't grounded in anything real. I was either chasing validation or checking out. I figured every ounce of energy I used speaking to girls, talking to girls, thinking about girls, I was going to give back to myself to heal. And it worked. So these are the 4 things I did to fix my burnout and reclaim my energy. First, I committed to a sleep pattern. I woke up at the same time and went to bed at the same time. Removed screens from my life. I took my alarm off my phone and onto a smart clock. My priority was protecting my energy, protecting my space, and that started with sleep. Within weeks, I was more alert. I'd wake up not feeling groggy. I was calmer, clearer, and it showed. The second non-negotiable I committed to implementing every day was daily movement. Not to punish, but to empower. Strength training, going for a walk, getting into cold water. I'd take the stairs instead of taking the escalator. I gave more time and energy back to my body, incorporated stretching before I went to bed. I learned to enjoy the movement. I wasn't using it as an escape, I was using it to build myself back up. The third was, I stopped outsourcing my self-worth. I started setting boundaries, putting myself first, listening to what my body and my little voice in my head said. I took myself seriously. If the voice in my head said yes, I'd say yes. If it said no, I said no. If it made me feel good and didn't jeopardize myself for the long term, that's the action I was going to take. And the 4th and final thing I did was I stayed consistent. I found direction and followed it. Instead of numbing out on the weekends, I used those days to heal and repair. I started respecting myself, my actions, my decisions, my thoughts, my views. I started learning, deepening my connection with myself, slowing down. I stopped drifting and started choosing. It felt like for a long period of my life that life was happening to me, not with me. And now it felt like I was living it. I used that time for days, weeks and months, and that's when it became routine. And that's when I met Tiana. I wasn't looking for anything. She was in town for a couple days and I thought I'd show her around. But I was showing up in the world differently. I was more confident, happier, healthier. I had a better direction of my life. On our first date, I actually ended it early because I had already made a pre-commitment to going to the gym that day. On the second date, she actually showed up a little bit early and I was halfway through a meditation. Could have very easily just chalked that one off and moved forward. But I decided this was important to me and I made her wait while I did my meditation. She later told me that it was incredibly attractive that I knew who I was, what I wanted, I had direction and purpose. She also appreciated how much energy and effort I was putting into my well-being because it was important for her. It didn't come across as selfish. When you put yourself first, you also put the ones you love first. And that was a big turning point. When she was telling me these things, That's when it hit me. Me prioritizing myself made me more attractive. And it's something that I now work through and help others with. But don't get me wrong, this video isn't about dating. It's about alignment. When you're burnt out, you leak energy. You chase things that don't matter and you don't prioritize yourself. When you fix the root cause of the burnout, the stress, the worry, the panic, you improve your sleep, your clarity, your nervous system. You remember who you are, and people can feel that energy. They're drawn to it. Because the most attractive thing you can do is choose yourself and put yourself first. I didn't become more attractive overnight, but my energy changed. I was more present, calmer, and grounded once again in who I was. And that's what changed my life. And if you're in the thick of it right now, struggling with burnout, stress, overactive mind, I see you. I've been there. I've lived through it. And I've come out the other side. And if you're needing assistance, click the link below or reach out to us directly. We can work one-on-one. Also, YouTube thinks that you should watch this video, which I think I'd agree upon. So click this link here, and it really does help us out.